All right, we've got head coach John Wroblewski, and we'll get started here with Jesse Cohen.
Hey, John. Congrats on the win. Didn't see it, but Nick Nixon calling the game at the very end in overtime there on the rush up the ice just before the goal mentioned that Grosnick might have been hurt. Is he okay?
I don't have a comment on that right now. First look at it is that he's okay, but we'll see. I haven't been able to talk to the trainer, and he hasn't been evaluated yet either, so it'd be a little early to jump the gun there.
All right. The previous 7 games, you guys were outscoring a bunch of teams, ton of offense tonight. Get it done with defense and limiting goals. Does that feel good as a coach to see?
I was really happy for Troy the way that he played. He was up to the task, but I didn't particularly care for the way that we played tonight. To be honest with you, I thought that we were just too sporadic. Lots of D zone time, lots of rushes against. I didn't think we were very good on the puck. That was exemplified by our poor face-off record. Is particularly through the first period and a half. We surrendered clean wins against clean losses almost every single draw. It was sort of indicative of how often we gave up 2-on-1s. We were in the right spots, but we were not good on the puck tonight. And it got a little better as the game went on. But of course, the game tying goal was another indicator of that. There's no reason that they should be coming off the half wall, and we're able to break that play up. So that play happened way too often tonight, and that was the one that allowed them to scratch back in. But I think Grosnick was probably the story tonight here.
Your team has been acquiring veterans, whether it's from outside the organization or being sent down from LA. What does it do to the team's makeup when you have guys like Anderson, Amadio, Strand, Smith-Pelly in the lineup?
Well, it's that's part of the gig for sure is being ready to adapt and evolve with whatever lineup you have. And so while you're trying to build a conducive playing style, the players ultimately will dictate how the game is played. It's up to them to make the choices on the fly. And you see how the team changes with a guy like Amadio in it, that we all of a sudden become a little bit more comfortable maybe with the puck and through the neutral zone, and that starts to kind of echo through the club. And so I think that tonight we need to remind guys of the way that they need to play, and not worry about how other players are playing, and make sure they're playing their game. I think that we were away from our identity to start. I'm a little concerned when we have that many guys that weren't sharp. There's obviously something that we need to look at as a staff, because our energy was not there. Our focus wasn't where it needed to be to compete and to dominate a period. It feels good to win, but at the same time, like we're trying to build things and win the right way. And I don't think we did that as tonight like we strive to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next up is John Hoven.
Hey, John, just to build on that a little bit, you talked on Wednesday night, I believe, about energy and focus and things like that, and had a couple of days to get everybody lined up again. Any particular reason why you think this is now 2 games in a row that hasn't been there for you the way that it was in the previous maybe handful of games?
I think maybe it's game 21, and I don't know how many days, but I think for some of our young guys, when it's consistent across the board, there is a reason. And I'm not sure. I hate to concede that energy is the answer, that that where we took yesterday off completely from the ice. We just did a workout off ice, and then today we did it was about 15 minutes. There was a little bit of combat out there to try to get them ready, to get them more game ingrained, to prepare for tonight. So it wasn't just a light skate. It had a little bit of rough and tumble out there, and still didn't get the start or the energy that we're looking for here, and really just the overall, I think, just controlling the puck battles. I mean, ultimately we can talk about X's and O's all day long, but look at the game, the pivotal play where they go through all 5 players to draw the penalty, with 5 minutes left in the contest. If we're better on the puck, forget the system. That's it. Just be more diligent and better. We snuff out a lot of plays, and I won't concede that the guys that we have in this room aren't up to the task to be better on the puck. And so that's without that, we really have nothing. And I thought we're going to address that as ground zero. There'll be some teaching points, but without that basic compete on the puck, we don't have anything.
At the end of the day, players do still like their stats as well. Who needed that more tonight? Mikey Easimon or Kale Clague?
I was really happy for both of them. And I don't like to say that a corner is turned or anything like that. But I thought that Clague was his most impactful game. I thought he was very quiet defensively. And his turnover ratio was very low, and he wasn't around any weird items. Like there wasn't any like, how did that guy slip behind us tonight? He was really sharp, and I thought offensively he made a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things. So I was really happy for both of those guys. And that, I just go bank on Mikey. We love his passion, the way that he brings it every game. And you know what, it was really very special, I think, for both those guys. Hopefully it's a little lift off their shoulders.
And then just to loop back to something that you had said a couple of weeks ago, and I know that Dudas was out of the lineup, but is he giving you now more kind of what you expect from him on a nightly basis, or still sort of a work in progress?
He's a ways off. He's building an identity. He needs to be the thorn in the side of the other team. We believe that he can facilitate offense, that he can be a contributor, but his calling card is going to have to be that he's the most annoying guy to play against, that the other team absolutely hates it when he rolls the board, that they're worried about him. They're concentrating on him. The other team's goalie is having to manage him in his paint. The other team's chirping him before faceoffs. He's got to be more of a pest. He's got to be more pesky to play against. And that's going to be his avenue to the NHL. It's not going to be as an offensive player. It's going to be as a gritty team first and dynamic pest that is out there killing penalties and doing everything he can to get the other club off their game. And then he pounces. He's got enough skill to pounce on it and make plays but that's going to be secondary for him. He's got to be that annoying player to go against. We're seeing glimpses of it, but it's not often enough. There's a failed clear on the penalty kill tonight, just for an example, but I do have a lot of time for Aiden. And I think that, you talk about how to get through to players. And sometimes for a guy like that, who needs to inject a little bit more of that, pest and I'm not going to use the expletive, but F you on it, he's gonna have to learn that. And that's gonna be something that if losing ice time is part of that equation, then so be it. And we're gonna use that as kind of a hammer over the top of him. We need to see it from him.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks.
Yep.
Next up is Patrick Williams.
Coach, along those lines of Dudas, is there a way to draw out, I guess for lack of a better word, a player to be a little bit more obnoxious on the ice?
Yes, I think that they just have to embrace it. And sometimes that comes with a little bit of a pack mentality as well. So as much as I want to get him to that spot now to start working on that, we need other guys to drag him into the fight. And that's I think when we have Boko in the lineup, that does help. Like Boko stirs up a lot. You could probably guess it from watching him play, but also at ice level and on the bench, he's open to discussion quite often. He's good at getting under the other team's skin and letting them know where he's at and that he's coming for him. I think Aiden could use a little bit of what Boko brings that way. And he's a real strong leader. And I think Aiden can get there for us, and the quicker, the better for him and us.
A game like tonight where you didn't win the way you want to, can winning that way be a dangerous thing, and then something that you have to kind of really pounce on early to get that out of the players' heads?
Right. I think, winning and losing the right way, there's obviously the team has to win in different avenues as the season goes along. I prefer it to be a 40-25 shot ratio with the scoring chances our way, but that isn't going to be our reality with the young lineup. We're going to get that it's going to be more of the anomaly. But I do expect us to play better than we did and particularly on the puck. When we go back and watch the tape, it's not going to be very it's not gonna be very pretty. Let's just put it that way. But you know what? We can't be picking and choosing about how we gather points. That's also confidence builder. There's certain guys that came out of this game feeling really good about themselves as they should, and then there's going to be other guys who need to know that wasn't good enough, and they need to have a response, and for them and us, for the player and for the team, we need better from each guy.
When guys come out of a game like this feeling good about themselves, do you have to walk the line there where you don't kind of rain on their parade right away if they've gotten a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, and there's a special vibe. You're not gonna play your best every night, and the way that I'll keep going back to it is when we do concede, we call it free play in the defensive zone, which has happened a little too often for my liking right now, where the other team gets to kind of roam around at will, and we're basically in contained defense, and you kind of go into man on man. I really have a lot of time for how well we've started to defend in that area. That means guys are taking personal pride in their box outs and body position, and making sure that they're taking care of the team and usually that's when guys are getting really tired. So there's that you have to appreciate the battle level and the pride that the guys have. And then for us, it's about finding that extra gear when you might be a little bit, you wake up in the morning, you're not feeling your best. You're not always going to have that where your legs have that jump. You got to find ways to gather that that power for that night, and to know that you've got a B game to back up on. And we have a lot of guys who are trying to sort through what it's like to play with an A game, and we have pretty much the whole team is trying to figure out how to get by and when they don't have it, and how to play a B game. With having guys drafted where they are, they've never had to work on a B game. So that's a tough thing to teach too.
Thank you.
Yep.
And last one's here from Jack Wroblewski.
Hey, Coach. I think early on in the season, you talked a lot about the lessons that this team had to learn, especially being so young. You've also talked about your displeasure in the team's performance, so to speak, tonight. I'm just curious, from a macro perspective, what did you feel like those lessons that are starting to resonate with the team over your last, 6 or 8 games where you guys have found success via points?
Well, a couple moving parts on that one. Where, Jack, could you ask that question again, actually, because there was a few things moving there.
Sure. Sorry about that. Early on, you talked a lot about how there's a lot of lessons that this team has to learn, especially at the professional level. I'm just curious to know, in the last 6 to 8 games where you guys have started winning more, what are some of those lessons that you think are resonating with the players?
Well, number one, it's having a personal identity, which then falls in line with a team identity. And when the lineup is ever changing, the team identity is a little bit harder to hit a bullseye on. Because you got a guy like Amadio coming in, he's going to play a different game than say Byron was playing. So it is falling back on your personal identity. It's taking the team concepts that we're trying to implement, and then fitting them into how it works for your game, using the individual video with the assistant coaches, and taking their tips and injecting that into your game, which fits into the team identity. When you have a lot of players trying to find out how they fit into the team, and they're also trying to survive in pro hockey, it takes some time. And I think you're starting to see that guys are buying into a play behind that the grind sets up their skill. Whether or not we can get to all of that in one game, in one period, in one game consistently, that's then it falls in line with what's our base point for our defensemen and our team defensive identity and our goaltending. Every night you're going to need contributors in each department, and tonight, sometimes we were spearheaded by our back end. Our goaltending was awesome, fantastic, and that gave us a little bit of confidence to maybe play a little looser, which guys certainly tried to take advantage of. And I thought that we can continue to bank and be a different team on a nightly basis, but there's certain foundational items that have to stick. And a foundation sometimes takes a long time to build and to manufacture. It does. It always takes a long time. So we're still fighting to create that foundational basis for these young guys.
One of the moving pieces that you reference in terms of the identity is Elias Anderson, obviously coming down recently. Had a beautiful goal today. What have you made of his play tonight, but I guess overall since he's come down and joined the Reign?
Yeah, he's just a fiery competitor. He's useful in all spots. In the American League, we can put him on the power play pretty much any spot, and he's obviously very good on the penalty kill. And one of his best attributes, I think, is his puck protection ability and in the offensive zone. So he's and we can put him at wing, which he showed tonight. He can play in this through the middle. So a real jackknife of a player and a high end one at that. And I think that we're just starting to, we don't have him consistently, so it's hard to build that trust factor with him and to really help grow his game. But I think in the coming time, if we are able to work with him, I think we can help him out with a couple areas in his game too. I think he can have more impact down and around the other team's blue paint, and he can be more consistently defensively when he is a centerman. He can be a guy that really should be able to shut down another team's top line and be ultra dependent in his own end. So I think that we're just starting to, kind of see that, and it's once again he's trying to learn how to figure out how to assimilate on a new team as well. Like he's trying to figure all that out, and we're all trying to figure it out.
All right, we've got Kale Clague here, and we'll start off with John Hoban.
Kale, obviously, congratulations on the goal tonight. Just wondering what a relief that must be at this point to finally get your first of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like once you don't, score for quite some time, you kind of start thinking about it, and you want to do as much as you can to produce. And even though I'm a defenseman, I want to do as much as I can to produce to help the team win and stuff. And yeah, I mean, you just start to overthink it. I feel like after games start piling up, but it felt really good, and just want to keep building off that now.
How have you had to adjust your game this year? Obviously, the last couple of years in Ontario under one coach, now with Robo coming in, there has been just, differences, whether it be in systems or communications and that sort of thing. How have you had to adjust your game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a little different. I've always been working on my, defensive game. That's kind of my main focus when I'm down here. And, but, Robo's coaching style is definitely, pushing the pace and getting up and being active in the ozone, which I think plays into my game. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to find my stride since I've been down, and I just want to do as much as I can to help the team, and I know I have more to give, and I just want to build off tonight.
How do you block out what you really want, which is to get back up in the NHL? How do you block that out and allow yourself just to focus and play the best game that you can, at this level?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard, but I just trying to work hard every day, and I need to find my game down here. That's the only way I'm gonna get back. And I know when I start playing my brand of hockey and each and every night consistently, that's only gonna benefit me moving forward. And not only that, but I'm a leader on this team, and I have to be our best D every night. So that's a huge responsibility, and I know I have a lot more to give, and I'm going to just build off tonight and keep trying to contribute and helping this team win.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate it.
Next up is Jesse Cohen.
Kale, you're still early in your career, and maybe on a different team in a different season, you'd be one of the young guys, but this team has so many guys, even younger than you. But to your point about needing to be a leader and needing to be one of the best defensemen on the team, do you talk to Mark Alt and Cameron Gaunce about the role that a veteran D-man would play on a team?
Not so much talk to them, but I think it's easy to just, be a sponge and watch kind of how they carry themselves. And, obviously those guys are older and have been around a long time, along with Suts and Dotes. And, there's a few other guys that haven't been around, and, it's just easy to, watch them and, see how they carry themselves and what they do. And, they're always coming to work, coming to practice to work hard every day and leading by example. And yeah, so, I mean, it's good to have those guys to learn from.
On that goal tonight, did you see that play developing, or was it just sort of a moment that an opportunity that just occurred?
Yeah, I mean, I saw Mikey behind the net kind of fishing for the puck and battling for the puck. So, I felt like I was alone in front, and I knew if he got it and came to me, it'd be a great chance. So, and then it worked out.